I'm amazing.
That's my main focus.
Keep up the good work.
And it was my lifetime dream to be like in Kosovo.
Do you know about the Wall of Attraction?
I just wasn't feeling ready. I meant for something more. I don't know how to say.
Sure.
It was a bit difficult. It's very good. And it wouldn't be that much of a loss.
Respect for you for taking the responsibility. Hello, Simona.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Good.
Great.
How are you?
I'm amazing.
I'm glad to hear.
I wanted to ask you, can you please briefly introduce yourself, because some of the people watching right now may have no idea who you are, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
So please introduce yourself briefly.
Of course. So I'm Simona Hristova. I used to be a student in AUBG. I'm originally from Bulgaria. I was studying at AUBG last year for 1 year, and now I transferred to the Maastricht University. I'm studying there also like international relations, political science. That's my main focus. And yeah, like during my high school, I used to study in Kosovo for 4 years. And yeah.
You have an interesting background, but the bottom line, you are not an AUBG anymore.
Yeah.
We came to AUBG together. We were the same thing. And why are you not anymore at AUBG? Like, it's something in here or something? What are the reasons?
Yeah, we were even in the same class.
Yes,
in
yes,
global
yes,
politics.
yes.
Yeah. So maybe I can start like from high school. So since in high school I was in Kosovo because my dad was working there. So I was in an American school there, and it was my lifetime dream to be like in an American high school and then be in an American university. And I think like while I was there, like I really liked the school, but I was really missing Bulgaria because, as you know, like in high school years, you want to party, you want to be with your friends. And so I wasn't feeling ready yet to go to another country again, to start again. And there was still this kind of like thought in my mind that I want to go back to Bulgaria. And even then my mom was like, you know, it's better to go abroad since you already studied in English. You can always go back to Bulgaria, but it's better to graduate abroad. But I just wasn't feeling ready. And I think this was like the most balanced decision. So I decided to come to AUBG. But like once I came here, it's not that it was something for the university. Like I really like the people, I really like the system of the university, the classes that I took. But I think I was feeling like I meant for something more. I don't know how to say.
Sure.
Yeah, and also because I want to study international relations, and I think AUBG is very good, but I think it's better for like business, like journalism, finance. I think it's doing very well in these spheres. But I feel like for politics and international relations, I think that other universities were doing better. So since January, I started applying to different universities. And I was really debating between Vienna and Maastricht, but I decided Maastricht because I think it's very good for
You don't regret this decision?
No, not at all.
Okay, we're going to talk about your university a bit more later.
Yeah.
And I want just to add about political science. Even our major is much rather political science than international relations, right?
Yeah.
Than diplomacy or something connected to that. So once again, you didn't drop out, you transferred.
Yeah.
So you transfer some credits to your new university, and you basically don't start from scratch.
So it was a bit difficult because, especially in Maastricht, so there the bachelor is 3 years. So since the beginning, I was like, even if they don't transfer my credits, I'm okay with that because here it's 4 years and it wouldn't be that much of a loss. But of course, like I tried to transfer my credits and we're still on the process of transferring because they said, you know, I think they were waiting for me to see if I'm passing my exams because there it's like much harder.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like trying to transfer my credits, and my academic advisor told me that you know, it's 99% sure that I'll be able to transfer them. And I especially wanted to transfer like my microeconomics, statistics, so they kind of align with the international relations, also politics as well.
Yeah.
And so if it's successful, like I'm gonna know after a month, I'll graduate like a semester earlier. So this is very nice that I'm not losing the year here, but as well I'm trying to play. Yeah.
So apart from the specifics of your major, that being international relations, you said also that you meant for something more.
Yeah.
not to put the words in your mouth.
Yeah.
What did you exactly mean by that? And do you think AUBG does not hold up to the standards of other, let's say, European universities?
I would say that, especially for international relations, it's easier being abroad, like just for connections and for meeting people, because especially Maastricht, that is like on the border with Belgium, it's very close to like the European Union and like international institutions. And I think just the connections are more easily built there, because I feel like there are a lot of internationals also here, but it's harder to build these connections because, for example, there, I also recently became a head of a committee, of a political committee there. And I think just by being in this committee, I met a lot of people that, you know, might be helpful for the future, as well, just like the people that I study with, for example, like their parents work in the European Union or they did an internship there, whereas, for example, most of the people that I have spoken to here, they are not that much connected to this kind of,
Yeah, maximum some of their parents may be multi-millionaires, some shady business, right? That is the maximum, what is regarding AUBG that you did not like the most?
Maybe a thing like, let me think. Maybe the thing that I didn't like the most was, for me personally, that it's in Blagoevgrad, because I'm from Sofia, and it was like, you know, I'm not in Sofia, but I'm not like outside of Bulgaria, and it's a bit, because at first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna become more independent when I come here, but at the same time, because I feel like here most of the people are from Sofia or Plovdiv or cities that I can go back during the weekend, and that's the thing that I like more in Maastricht, because, for example, there's more like a community. I think here's a community as well, but, you know, everyone goes home during the weekends, and because many times I wanted to stay, but there's nothing much to do, you know. And I think that was like a con that I found, that, you know, like I'm here, but I'm not here, and it's,
What is the thing that you like the most in AUBG?
The thing that I like the most is maybe like the campus life. So that's the thing that I miss in Maastricht, because there we all live in our own apartments, either shared or like student housings. But here, you know, I think the campus really brings people together. So, for example, just being like, hey, do you want to go for a coffee after 5 minutes? And, you know, you're there, like everyone studies together, and it's like more easy like to connect with people. Whereas in Maastricht, it's again easy because it's again like a student city. It's like 80% like students. But I think it's harder to like be with people like all the time. I think that's,
Approximately how many people study in your university in the Netherlands right now?
In my faculty, I would say around 2,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just your faculty is much more than AUBG in general.
Yeah. And like there are many faculties. There's like business engineering, there's like the business, like medicine, and they're like, I'm not sure, I don't want to lie, but I think it's around 20,000 students.
Oh, wow.
In the, It's
and do you like campuses and do you like universities where there are a smaller amount of people like ours, or a bigger amount, a few thousand?
Well, I think like it depends, because, for example, in my faculty, I also don't feel it that much. I feel like how I feel here, because I really like the structure there as well, because there we mainly have tutorials. So in the tutorials, we're like 12 people, and that's another reason that I chose Maastricht, because I think it's called PBL kind of learning, and it's like problem-based learning. So the idea behind it is that they give us like things to prepare, for example, like readings, questions to answer, and you prepare for a couple of days, and then you go to the tutorial and you all discuss the questions. And I think that really helps me for my major, because I think it's very important to be able to speak in front of people.
Especially for your major, yes.
I think for my major is perfect. For example, like for business, I don't find it that helpful, or for example, for physics, mathematics, because like there's not much to discuss. But like for me personally, I think it's very nice that it's done in this way. And so we're again like a smaller group of people, and we also have lectures where we are like more people, but I think the tutorials are very well made, because you can meet people, like get to know each other, so it's nice.
Is that the thing that you like the most in your new university?
I think, yeah, I think it's the best because like also every 2 months. So here, for example, we have 5 or 6 subjects per semester.
Yeah.
Whereas there we have per semester, we have 2 periods where we have 3 courses each period. And every 2 months we have exams for these courses. And I think it's more like stuffed, you know, there's much more to learn. But in this way, for example, every 2 months we change the people we're in a tutorial, so you get to meet new people. So I think I like that.
Is the intensity of studying, is it harder there than here?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I find it much harder, yeah. Because especially for my major, also maybe because here there's more diversity. So like some courses are less demanding, some are more demanding, and you can kind of like choose. Whereas there I feel like, oh, the courses are very demanding, especially like maybe for my field, because there's a lot to like learn, a lot to read. Also, I'm taking law subjects now, so they're like even more,
demanding, yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lot to memorize, a lot to know, and the exams are made in. Most of them are like open-ended, like questions and like essay questions. For example, here, like I also found it quite demanding. For example, for global politics that we had it, there was a lot to read. Or for example, for economics, but there were other subjects which were like balancing.
Chill.
Which were balancing it out. Yeah.
But in this regard, does it mean that it's just hard there, or does it mean that it's easy here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it easy here, is rather my question.
Well, I think it again depends like what kind of subjects do you take, because I don't want to underestimate it for sure. Because for example, my ex-roommate, she is focusing more on mathematics, physics, and I see that she's studying like all the time, and it's very demanding for her because her exams are very tough, and she cannot succeed if she doesn't study. But at the same time, I think that there are subjects that you can kind of go like sideways or kind of like, you know, like take it slower. For example, like last year I had German, which I really liked, but you know, I didn't like put that much effort. You know, you could have passed easily. I think the difference is that here you can pass easily without putting that much effort, and it's like it's hard if you want to get like very good grades. Whereas there's almost no possibility to get good grades. For example, like there, you know, it's like on the scale from 1 to 10. Even yesterday, I was joking with my friends. I was like, I forgot how like you expect to have A's, B's, you know, because there to get a 9 or 10 is impossible. Like nobody has.
What is the maximum?
10.
10.
Yeah. So like nobody has 10. You know, there it's like very good if you have like a 7 or 8, which here compares to like a C, which nobody wants to see
crazy.
here. Yeah, nobody wants to see. And like I was joking also with my mom when I went there. I was like, it's amazing. I never thought that I'll pray to pass. Like I never thought.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was always like ace. But there it's like to pass. Yeah.
Which approach do you like more? A bit more chill, so you can focus on some other things? Because I think this is one of the reasons that it's not as demanding here. Because you can engage in like entrepreneurship, in like journalism, you can work, or you prefer more demanding courses. So you really study, like you go to university and you like super focused on your subject. What do you prefer more personally?
Yeah, so I think that's why I'm saying that here, I think it's very good for businesses, because I see a lot of people have succeeded in their businesses, even peers of mine, which is very nice, that it allows you to focus on other things as well. However, for example, for my major, I like the system more there because we have less subjects, and in this way I actually learn and I see, because for example I think especially for politics or for lawmaking, it's very important to know what you're studying and to be competent, and I think in this way I'm actually learning the things and I'm actually applying the knowledge, and they still give you possibilities. For example, there's like 1 semester like of internship or exchange you choose, and for example I still have time, like if you want you can, I still have time, you know, to be in a committee,
to party sometimes, like you have some social life as well.
Of course, less than here, but there is some balance. And also, I think that there, you know, like since everyone, because you don't have a, you know, other opportunity, like you don't have a way to not study, so we all like gather in the library to study. Everyone is studying, you know, until late times. Whereas, you know, for example, here, you know, some are partying, some are studying. I mean, it depends. It depends to the person, but I think that here I didn't feel that much challenged as much as I felt there.
Yeah.
And I'm just the kind of person that I love challenges, and I feel like the feeling that you get after overcoming challenges is very it's very nice. Yeah.
I think what we have here creates like a potential pitfall for some people.
Yeah.
Like although you have some spare time, you can invest to build some skills, to build a project, etc., etc. People just waste it and do nothing, and it's just getting super comfortable of just passing and doing nothing in the meantime.
Yeah.
But I think you have to maximize your utility, maximize your time being here, and take the most out of the free time you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Because especially in the like first year, second year, you have much more free time than the last 2 years, right? This year that you spent here, do you regret coming here? Would you rather go directly to the Netherlands, or you're just that's the path, that's the way, and why not?
Yeah, to be honest, like I for sure don't regret it. Like when even my mom, when she mentions it, she was like, "Yeah, why did you go there? You wasted your year." For me, it wasn't a waste at all. I think I gained a lot of friendships that I still keep.
You still keep some of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
As you see, I came to visit them.
Nice.
Yeah, I still keep them, and I think I also have very great memories from last year, and I think it built me a lot, like my personality, and it helped me find my path, because last year when I came here I was still unsure like what I'm interested in, what I want to do in my future, and I think AUBG also formed me as a person kinda, and like showed me what I like, what I don't like, and
Nice.
for sure I don't regret it. And also I think I needed that year, as I told you, to be like a bit more like settled down and to realize what I actually want, because I know if I went directly to Maastricht I would always have this thought in my mind, but if I came back to Bulgaria, what would it have been? And I'm not saying that I'll never come back to Bulgaria again, for sure. I love Bulgaria, but for now I think this is better.
So you kind of took a gap year,
Kinda.
to find yourself and to direct yourself. If you don't mind me asking, what's the tuition there?
So there it's most of the universities there, like the faculties, are around 2,500, so it's very affordable.
All right.
Per year, euros. And just my faculty and one another, because it's Cantus honors program and because it's like a liberal arts. And
So it's liberal arts there as well?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I really wanted to be liberal arts, like when I was researching. So there was only in Amsterdam and in Maastricht, because, the reason, first I liked it here that it's liberal arts, and I wanted to transfer my credits. So that's why I also chose it. And so it's double. It's like 5,000 and something per year.
Okay, which is still less than here.
Yeah.
But you said per year?
Per year,
So 2 semesters.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's less. It's like here it's double or more. Like that was also one of the reasons that I decided to change, because I feel like here, like it was too expensive for what they were giving.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. So what quality price comparison, you find it's a bit overestimated here, you think? Yeah,
like even maybe this was like a big factor for me. Even maybe if here it was cheaper, maybe I would have stayed. But the thing is that, like for me, like for example, for my parents, they never told me, we cannot afford it or anything like that, for sure. But I just felt like it wasn't worth it, because for example like when you compare it, because there the housing is more expensive, so like approximately it's the same per year, when you compare it with housing and everything, and also the life is like more expensive, so it's kind of like balancing out. But there I see that there's like, it's for a reason, that much. And also there you get more opportunities, because for example, if you work there, even for around like 20 something hours, you get subsidies from the government. So they help you. For example, if you're a certain age, you also get some subsidies. You can apply for scholarships. There's a lot of opportunities that you can get like money back. Whereas here, I feel like the money weren't worth it, because I was like, okay, I'm paying like, a lot.
Whatever amount of money,
a lot. And what am I doing? For example, every weekend I'm going back to Sofia. Like my mom is cooking for me, or I'm cooking for myself. I'm like washing my clothes at home. I was just feeling too comfortable. I was just feeling that I'm not growing. Whereas there, for example, I recently started also working, and I feel like the money are getting paid off. So I think that was also another reason.
one wise guy said that one of the best decisions you can do when you're in your 20s is to go study abroad, because it builds your discipline, it builds your problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
You're getting comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Would you second that? And what's your opinion on moving abroad and studying abroad when you're young?
Yeah, like I totally agree. I think even if not studying abroad, because of course it's different for every person, like I don't want to generalize it, but just like going out of your comfort zone, whatever that means. Because for example, for some people, this is also going out of their comfort zone, like especially for people that have never like moved or like traveled or anything.
Or being
like,
outside of their parents' home, let's
yeah,
say.
I think this is also like a very big move, because as I told you, like I'm talking from personal experience, because for example, some people, they don't go back like every weekend. Some people stay here for months, and I think this is also like very beneficial in their like 20s especially, because I feel like exactly moving abroad built me a lot as a character, because to be honest, I was also a bit spoiled before. Like for example, my mom was always cooking for me, like she was mainly like cleaning in the house, so I was like, yeah, I could do it, but you know, but once you go abroad, you just don't have an option. You know, there's no one, there's no one to come and save you. Of course, like your parents are always there, you have your friends, but you have to deal with everything on your own. And I think, as you said, like you're getting comfortable in the uncomfortable, because of course everything is scary from the beginning. I was also like scared. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. You know, I want to go back to my hometown, my mom to drive me around, you know, everything to be chill. But like once you get past that stage, I think you feel so much better for yourself, because once you do the uncomfortable things at this age, I think it's so much easier to like grow and, for example, to be comfortable after that. Because for example, I think if you don't get out of your comfort zone in your 20s, you eventually have to get out of it in your 30s or 40s, and I think it's much harder at a certain age, especially in your 30s, rather than now. So I think it's beneficial for sure.
Respect for you for taking the responsibility. It was a big move, and you're doing good, as far as I know. You're making a podcast on your own. You're part of the podcast, right? How's that going?
So I recently became a head in a political and economy society in Maastricht. It's podcast, so it's called Maastricht Podcast. The people can follow us as well. So we're doing like political podcasts on different topics. We recently started it because I was before just an active member in the society, because it's like a very big society and there are like committees under it. And so we're working on producing political podcasts on different topics. So our goal is to make people more engaged in politics and make it like easier for them to understand. And we recently filmed our second episode where I'm a speaker.
Nice.
We interviewed like a professor from our university, a bit similar to you.
Sounds familiar,
sounds familiar, you know. And we were talking about Iran and the US. It's also something new for me, because I'm always scared to like talk and like say things on this kind of topics, because I think they're very complex. But I think it's very interesting. And you know, maybe like this, as you said, like for the uncomfortable, it's very nice, because at first I was also like, oh no, like how am I gonna be ahead? I never did something like this. I don't even know how to do a podcast. I'm not very like, you know, still I don't feel that informed and stuff. But like once you started, like for example, now I have a lot of passion for it, because I see, maybe you can say the same.
It's like a circle, right? But you have to join first, and then you have the responsibility and standards you have to keep up, and then you actually start getting passionate, because you're always like, let's say, reading about economics and politics, right? Is that the case?
Yeah, exactly. Like once you started and you're kind of like pushed to do it, because at first I was like, I don't know, I was a bit scared, but once you started, and now I feel, as you said, that I have to keep up to everything, and I'm trying to do my best, and I see that I'm actually interested in this, because for example, when I compared, because in the past I have done like a lot of like jobs that were like casual jobs, you know, for example, like a waiter and something like this. And I was even asking myself, will I ever like my job? Because I never liked this kind of jobs. I was always like, I have to go to work. And I was like, am I ever gonna like my job? And now that I'm actually doing something that I like, I don't get paid, as you know, but I still like put so much effort and so much like passion into it. So I can see that I'm actually enjoying
it. Great, Simona. Keep up the good work. This will pay off eventually. Like, just keep up the good work.
For sure. Same for you.
Thank you. A few days ago, one of the biggest discussions I had in the last few days, let me tell you a personal story.
Of course.
Was actually in Sakura, which is like the best sushi in town, done by our alumni. Absolutely amazing place, and I was there, and we were talking with my friend, like eating sushi, and we were discussing faculty here in AUBG.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you know, our interview was in my head. I was preparing questions in the meantime, and I wondered, like, we always talk about faculty here, and I noticed one interesting thing. We, like, personally, me, I decide which professors to choose, not on the basis who is better, let's say, but who is less worse. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm not checking the professor like background and like he has a background in like more environmental economics, let's say, and he has a more in finance. So who do I choose? It's not like this. It's rather, oh no, this is like I've heard some terrible things, and this is okay. It's fine. I'll go with this one. Is it the same thing? And can you compare the level of faculty without being like disrespectful? Like like with all due respect to all the professors here and there. But all things being equal, what do you say about like the comparative?
Yeah, for example, I think, as you said, like I don't want to talk bad about any, because I think like here I have very great professors. For example, I saw that you did interviews with Professor Bates.
Yes. He's talking about you a lot. Like, you're one of his favorite students, definitely.
He was a great professor. He was my first professor of economics, because in the beginning I was very bad in economics. But yeah, I like him a lot. I also like Professor Futuros. I also like him a lot. Like there are a lot of great professors here. I think you chose the great ones. But yeah.
They were all on the podcast.
They're all on the podcast. We can see them.
Only the best ones are on the podcast.
I like them.
Just joking,
of course. No, there are a lot of great professors. But I think, as you said, because here, like, I can still, like, name some professors that I feel like they're maybe not the best, or like maybe not the most suitable for what they're teaching.
You hear some stuff, right?
I hear some stuff. Whereas, for example, like in Maastricht, or maybe there, because I think here, since it's a more like closed community, so everything goes mouth to mouth, and you don't know like which thing is true, because I think a lot of people can make up things, but if I told you something and you tell another person, so it spreads out. Whereas, for example, in my faculty, I think it's just not that known, like everything. For example, I don't know almost anything about my professors, and I think they're just like, most of them are just more professional. And also, as I told you, like in the tutorials, like we're with tutors, they're called, so they're not like professors, but they're like tutors, and most of them are like alumni, or for example, like teachers in their 30s that are still like kind of, for example, last period I had a tutor in law, and she is now doing her master's, and she went for an internship in the European Parliament. So she's kind of like a peer of ours, you know, kind of. So there I feel I just feel more connected to the people that are teaching us, because they're more open to us and they're talking to us like we're friends.
And they're in the field right now.
They're right now, and they're still like evolving in the field, and that's why maybe I feel like more connected to them, because also here like it's just like the lectures, and of course like especially compared to the public universities here, you're much more connected to the professors than in the public universities. But still in Maastricht, I feel like I'm more. Even more, yeah. And I feel like if you ask me now, I cannot say anything bad for the teachers, professors there. But if you ask me for here, I have some things maybe to say. But again, as I said, it's maybe from what people have told me, what I have heard, and I have made some things in my head. So yeah.
But you didn't have any like scandal with any professor, so it was pretty mild, you would say.
Here?
Yeah.
I would say. Maybe like, I wouldn't say a scandal, for example, maybe for some grades, like there was one time that I got a bad grade and I didn't understand like why was that, and there were some like complaints.
That was not with Bates, right?
No, it wasn't with Bates, it was with another professor, and and there was like some, miscommunication, and I still got the bad grade, but I mean, it's understandable, it's also university, so they have to keep it professional, so it wasn't like anything like drastic, What
are your plans for the future? after you done your bachelor's?
After? Yeah, so for now, because I always love to plan things so much ahead, and so now I told myself to like wait a bit, because like this summer I was on a work and travel program in the US, and after I came back, I was for sure, I was like, I'm gonna do my master's in New York, like there's no other way. But like after some time passed, I started like rethinking some things, and I for sure want to like pursue a master degree in international relations, and I would like to work in an international organization, something like the UN or something like that. But there was a quote that I really liked, that it was like, if you know what you want to become, you'll become that. But if you don't know, you can become something so much better. Yeah. And that's why I try to go like year by year, slowly. But yeah, we'll see. I'm still not sure.
Do you know about the law of attraction? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Do you think that works?
Yeah, I think it works, yeah. And I think, like things like change a lot. And because, for example, now I might want New York, but after 1 year, I might want, for example, London. So I don't want to say for sure. But yeah, something in that field for sure. Yeah.
What would you say to current AUBGers? How do they maximize? How do they smash everything? How do they be so proactive as you are?
Thank you.
What's the advice do you give to AUBGers?
So I would say to follow their passion, and I would say to stay, as you said, proactive, productive, because I think and I believe that no matter in which university are you, even in the lowest ranking university, if you want to succeed, you're gonna succeed. And for example, a lot of people go abroad with the idea, oh yeah, I'm abroad, I'm gonna succeed. No, like, it doesn't matter where you are. If you want to succeed, you are. So I would say, like, for example, even it shouldn't be in academics. For example, if you're interested in sports, if you're interested in arts, just like do something, because I feel like this year's, of course, I'm not saying to not enjoy your social life. I'm also like going out with friends, like drinking here and there, of course, it's the time to do that. But I also believe that it's good to, give also whatever you can. Or for example, like help your parents with something, because I think in your 20s, you actually find yourself. And it's better to not waste your years. Of course, everyone decides on their own, but I would say just like do something.
You mentioned a few minutes ago that a year spent here brought a lot of stories and a lot of good memories. Can you share wild story from a year here, like something that pops up in your mind immediately?
Well, I cannot think that much of a wild story, maybe, because, like, for example, the first semester, as you know, like, the first semester is more like euphoria. You're going, like, to parties, you're meeting new people, So I would say I really like, that's what I also like about AUBG, that there are, like, a lot of associations, a lot of, like, events, and I really liked joining them. So I think that's another thing that AUBGers can do. I would really recommend, like, joining some association, like, whatever you're interested in, because, like, this is very good for the future. It builds also a lot of skills. So I think I really enjoyed like the events, like going out with friends. But for the second semester, I was more like calm. So even like, it wasn't even wild, but this is something like I enjoyed the most, like more the calm life. For example, every night we were meeting with my friends, for example, in Scap to 3, staying in front of the TV, like watching The Bachelor, as you know it. We were watching The Bachelor, we were cooking dinner together, we were playing music. And I think this was like something that I really missed. That was a main thing that I really missed, because, just like time with them, like eating together, like watching TV together, even with my ex-roommate, just like studying together in the room, stuff like this. I wouldn't say that wild. And that's what I like here, that it's more calm. Yeah.
It's always about the balance, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's not that I haven't been to parties, for sure, but yeah, about the balance.
Is it your first time on campus since you went to the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Do you feel nostalgia? Do you reminisce? Yeah,
like it's very weird because, for example, like when I'm not here, I feel like I have never been here, but once I came back, it's like I never left. It's like so weird. Yeah, but it's very nice to be back. It's very nice to see old faces, old friends. It's very nice. Yeah.
Simona, I want to thank you for this interview, for this amazing conversation.
Of course.
I hope people watching this will maybe take some lessons and maximize their time being here.
Yeah.
And I wish you success and keep up the good work and good luck in all your endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.